Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Great Practice, Great Life. I am not Steve Riley. So many of you that join us on a regular basis are quite accustomed to Steve Riley being your host. But I am honored to join my dear colleague, Aaron Rothert, and I am Lori Pulvermacher. And together we are going to talk today about holiday marketing and jump into that topic. It's already, Q4 now. And so we need to focus on this very important topic. So, Aaron, welcome and thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure, as always, to work with
Thank you. Well, for today, Aaron, we are focusing on holiday marketing, as I said, but I want to just set the stage that we're really focusing on those traditional holidays that happen between the months of November and January. And we'll allude to the fact throughout our conversation today that there's other holidays and other initiatives that our audience could certainly consider. But again, we're really going to hone in on Q4 holidays and how our listeners can capitalize on this time of year. So, Aaron, why are we putting such an emphasis on ensuring that our listeners have a holiday marketing strategy?
you. It works. That's really the biggest thing that it comes down to. Holiday marketing works. I can't tell you how many attorneys I've worked with, and it's taken uh, teeth pulling, gnashing, and angst to get the ball rolling around holiday marketing. And almost to a T, after they go through the process and kind of get over that hump and really start implementing, they come back and they say, you know what? It produced results.
Right.
So if there ever was a marketing initiative that I can say, hey, do this and you'll see some sort of effect from it. And you'll see it, within a reasonable amount of time. Some form of holiday marketing usually is that thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
and marketing, we talk about this at Atticus. Mark Powers is famously internally quoted at saying, "Don't ever, 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 ever stop marketing." And this should be one of the components of your overall marketing strategy. But certainly, it's an opportunity to kind of amplify what you might be doing and how you're incorporating the holidays into that marketing strategy as well. And it's just a really great time of year to capitalize on a lot of the themes or the embodiment of the holidays and what they bring. It naturally ties well into, again, so many different themes with spreading cheer and demonstrating gratuity and acknowledging year end and the opportunities and rewards, if you would, that came with the current year.
I love what you're saying there, Lori, about you've got that whole year worth of marketing that you've done, all of the investment that you've made into referral sources, the work you've done with clients. The end of the year is a great time to sort of take all of that and ask, what is it we can do to sort of push this over the edge? Are there things, initiatives that we haven't focused on that we wanted to? Are there people that we need to thank? What is it that we need to do to take all of that year-long investment and really get that return out of what we've invested in?
Tip number one, Aaron, which is start planning early. As I mentioned, we're already in Q4, so it may not feel all that early for some. If for others, they may think, it's only October. We've got a couple of months or several weeks to consider this. But we know that this time of year is on fast forward. Naturally, we know this time of year comes with its own um, kind of chaos that just naturally ensues with year-end activity and the holidays. But there's other reasons too that we want to make sure that we're giving ample time. And Aaron, can you expound upon that for us?
Yeah, I mentioned before the attorneys I've worked with who kind of pushed back on the holiday marketing, and usually the biggest hurdle, the thing that gets in the way, is the planning for the holiday marketing. And the reality is, it takes time to be effective. And I would say one of those biggest hurdles in time is getting your list together.
Hmm.
Who is it that you want to target in terms of holiday marketing? And so it's more than just a list of names. So if you're saying, it's just, I just need to think of who it is, it's usually names, it's contact information, it's, what are the personal elements that we want to touch there? How do
Mhm.
we want to make this most effective? So that list, it just can be a bit time consuming.
Mhm.
So starting now is necessary in order to determine who is it we want to target. Do we have updated information? How might we want to target the people on our list? Who is it that's most that we want to thank, or according to what theme we're approaching, how do we want to approach that list?
Right, absolutely. And in the vein of themes, again, there are holidays that naturally fall during this quarter and lend themselves to a good theme. We've got Thanksgiving, we've got Hanukkah, we've got Christmas, Kwanzaa, and New Year's. And so those are some of, again, those Q4 traditional holidays that we can tap into. But on the ample time front, also, we want to make sure that we're considering any advanced needs for customization and shipping as well. If we're doing gifts, if we are planning an event, I mean, no matter what we may be doing or incorporating, we need to consider the lead time and planning time for that. And then any other logistics or actual materials or items that we need to have on hand to be able to execute that as well. So start early, start now if you haven't already, and make sure that as you look to your plans for next year, you're giving yourself ample time to put that in place.
The warning shot that I see that says, "Hey, we need to get this holiday marketing ball rolling," is I've got, if you listened to podcasts previously, a 6 and a almost 3-year old, and so we get holiday calendars in the mail. And so if the big box stores know that it's time to start planning for their holiday marketing, you should too.
Right.
They've got huge marketing companies helping them make these decisions. Tell you, we're inundated with these catalogs. My kids are already circling the things that they want to see come. So know that now is the time. This is when other companies are taking action. This is when people are starting to think about holidays. You should too. That also means your teams are distracted. You're distracted, and it's only going to get worse as we get closer and closer to the end of the year. So help get out of that sort of muddled state and get a little bit on the front end of this wave in terms of your planning.
With these individuals that are making that big impact in our practice, we do, again, we want to have a more on purpose or intentional gift giving initiative around them, or some other form of acknowledgement. But oftentimes this does come in the form of personalized gifts. And I know that it can be inundating or daunting sometimes to have that kind of brainstorming process and not know what someone could give. And there's no shortage of ideas that you could come up with, but sometimes it's hard to get the ball rolling. So, to help our listeners with this, Aaron, in the show notes, we are including a handout that is a gift giving guide. You use this with a number of your clients that you've worked with. How are our audience listeners going to use the gift giving guide?
So there, in the gift giving guide, it lists uh, different sorts of hobbies, interests, types of people, and then across it, it will give particular types of gifts that you may consider for that type of person. So you will identify, what is the type of person, and then use the guide to then start to narrow your thinking around what gift might make the most sense for that person.
Right. So if you've got someone who you know is a sports fanatic, or loves is a foodie. It has different ideas associated with that. And again, there are a lot of subscription-based services. There are a lot of personalized options. And we ask this question every year when we present to our group on the idea of holiday gift giving, and always ask for ideas where folks can share either things they've done as part of their firm's initiatives, or things that they've experienced with folks that have given them gifts as well. So again, we're looking at differentiating the types referral sources and clients that we have to determine kind of that best match of what we can apply for that gift. So, just again, if you're not tracking this, if you don't feel like you know your referral sources well enough to determine what would be an appreciated gift, that's your big indicator that you should probably be carving out more time with these strategic partners and getting to know them better throughout the year so that you can identify something personalized for them.